Hello, welcome to Learn Vietnamese with Thanh, the Southern accent. My name is Thanh. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to make a sentence with the verb là. Before I start this lesson, I have to tell you that this video is for those who have learned Vietnamese at a certain level. If you are completely new to Vietnamese, this video might be overwhelming to you. Okay, let's go. So, in English, we can use the verb to be to talk about identities, attributes, properties, locations of something or someone. For example, I am Nam. You are beautiful. She is 37 years old. They are in Vietnam. In Vietnamese, the verb là is used to talk about identities. In some rare cases, it's also used to talk about properties, but it's never used to talk about locations. Now we're going to delve into each type of sentence with these words. Number 1. Positive sentence. The structure would be noun number 1 là noun number 2. For example, tôi là giáo viên. Anh ấy là người Việt Nam. Cái này là sách. Remember that we don't use là to talk about someone's age. So we don't say cô bé này là 8 tuổi. We just say cô bé này 8 tuổi. Number 2. Negative sentence. The structure would be noun number 1 không phải là noun number 2. For example, anh ấy không phải học sinh của tôi. Tiền này không phải của tôi. Normally, to make a negative sentence, you have to put the word không before the verb or the adjective. But here you might see that there is also the word phải. So phải means right. Then không phải is the negative structure of the adjective right. So the whole sentence, noun number 1 không phải là noun number 2 actually means it is not right that noun number 1 is noun number 2. So the verb là doesn't have its own negative structure. Hey, hang on. The verb là does have its negative structure, không là. Have you ever heard the song Không là anh ở Trịnh Hưng Bình? Yes. In fact, you might only hear the phrase không là in a song or a poem. You never hear people say không là in real life unless they are reciting a poem or singing a song to you. Besides, the word là is optional and usually used to emphasize an argument. For example, đây không phải là lỗi của tôi. Cái này không phải là hàng thật. You could also use many negative words like hỏng, chẳng, chả, đâu to substitute the word không. For example, em không phải giáo viên, em là học sinh. The word hỏng is usually used in casual spoken Southern Vietnamese. Chị đâu phải là giám đốc đâu. The final word đâu is usually used at the end of a negative sentence and only in spoken language to show a casual manner. Number 3. Positive questions. The structure would be noun number 1 có phải là noun number 2 không? So normally to make a yes-no questions, you have to put the word không at the end of the questions and the optional word có before the verb or the adjective. So some new learners end up saying some questions like this. Bạn là người Anh không? Chị có là bác sĩ không? Of course, a native speaker can understand what you mean, but I have to say that both of the questions are completely wrong and odd. Because just like when you make the negative sentence, you also have to make the questions with the adjective phải, not with the verb là. So the right questions must be: bạn phải người Anh không? Chị có phải bác sĩ không? The word có in this case makes the sentence sound formal, like you need the answer to solve a problem. The word là is also optional. It makes the question sound polite, so there are up to 4 combinations so far. Chị phải người ở đây không? Chị có phải người ở đây không? Chị phải là người ở đây không? Chị có phải là người ở đây không? The longest questions is usually used in formal contexts, like when you make a phone call and ask whether the person taking the phone is the person you want to talk with. For example, chào chú có phải là chú Tư không ạ? The word ạ is used at the end of a sentence to show extra politeness. Another point that makes the question structure the most difficult part is because the word phải can be put at the beginning of the questions, before the second noun or before the question's word không as well. So all of these questions are correct. Anh phải cha thằng bé không? Phải anh cha thằng bé không? Anh cha thằng bé phải không? And you could also combine with the optional words có or là to create up to 10 combinations. But remember that the word có should be before the word phải, whereas the word là should be between two nouns. For example, có phải em là nhân viên mới không? Em là nhân viên mới, có phải không? So, now we're going to talk about how to answer this kind of questions. If you are talking with an older person, you could answer dạ phải rồi, or dạ phải rồi plus pronoun. You could also substitute the word phải with the word đúng, which means correct, and say dạ đúng rồi, or dạ đúng rồi plus pronoun. For example, con có phải nhân viên ở đây không? Dạ đúng rồi chú. If you are talking with a younger person, you could just substitute the polite particle dạ with the word or just remove it and say like phải, etc. In cases you want to answer no, if you are talking with an older person, you could answer dạ không phải, or dạ không phải plus pronoun. The longer the answer is, the more polite it sounds. In spoken Southern Vietnamese, most of the time, không is changed into hông to make it sound casual. So we usually say dạ không phải, or dạ không phải plus pronoun. If you are speaking to a younger person, just drop the polite word dạ and say like không phải, or không phải plus pronoun. Now, take a deep breath before we go to the number 4. Number 4. Negative questions. Noun number 1 không phải là noun number 2, phải không? Unlike the positive questions, the negative questions is simple because it is a combination of a negative sentence. Noun number 1 không phải là noun number 2 and a third questions, phải không? For example, cái này không phải của em phải không? You could also substitute the third questions, phải không with the phrase đúng không or with the word hả. This could also be applied to positive questions that have phải không at the end. For example, chị không phải ca sĩ đúng không? Cái bóp này không phải của cô hả? Anh là diễn viên nổi tiếng Robert Downey đúng không? Chú là chồng của cô Liên hả chú? The pronoun chú is put at the end to show your politeness. Remember to mention the pronoun you use to call the person you're talking with at the end of the sentence to show your politeness if that person is older than you. Number 5. Questions with question words. So, to make a question with a question word, you could just substitute the information that you want to ask in the positive sentence with the appropriate question word. For example, ai là quản lý ở đây? Bác là người nước nào? Cây dù này là của ai? Sách này là sách gì? Okay, so you have learned a lot about the word là. I hope you enjoyed the lesson and wouldn't make those mistakes that I mentioned in this video. If you want to practice speaking Vietnamese with me, you could contact me via the information in the description below. If you are new, you could subscribe to this channel or give me a thumbs up if you find this lesson helpful. Thank you for watching.